Hey there, darlings. Welcome back to the Farmer's Table. If you are new here, my name is Jess, and welcome to you. But for the rest of you, definitely welcome back. And I'm back. It's been a handful of weeks since I posted anything on this channel. And since my last post, we hit a really big milestone here on the channel. We surpassed 100,000 subscribers. So a huge thank you to all of you who are choosing to be here with me in my kitchen as I feed my family and hopefully, you know, inspire you and encourage you in feeding yours. Today is Super Bowl Sunday, and I am gonna be completely frank. I don't give a flip about football at all. I don't even actually know who's playing today, so that tells you exactly how much of a dog I have in the fight. However, my husband and our 5 sons and his brothers and family, they all really enjoy just sports in general, even if they don't really care who's playing, and I like feeding them. So I'm in the kitchen getting ready for that. And today I'm not really doing much of a tutorial. I just wanted to turn the camera on and chat with you guys and spend a little time in the kitchen, maybe keep you company while you're cooking whatever it is that you're cooking. Today I'm making a big pot of chili, and I've got like some sausages and buns, and essentially I'm kind of making a spread that could be like for chili cheese nachos or chili cheese dogs, just depending on what everybody wants. We're going for kind of like football food. I'm preheating the oven to 270, which is low. I've got my big Dutch oven back here on the stove. Crock pots run like 170 to like 280 degrees. That's like low to high is the range of how a crock pot works. And pretty much any recipe that's like for a crock pot, you can make in a Dutch oven in your oven, just set on a low heat. So when it comes to things like chili, I actually prefer things being cooked in the oven. I just feel like the flavor is better. I don't know why that is. I do make crock pot bills, but not a whole lot. Really, for me, the crock pot is for something when I need something cooking while I'm away from the house. Like, I don't necessarily want to leave my oven on when I'm away from the house. But if I'm home, like today, and I'm making something like chili, a lot of times I'll prepare it on the stove and stick it in the Dutch oven into a 270 degree oven to cook for the afternoon. So, how are you guys? I always have a hard time whenever I fall off of my posting schedule. Just, you know, I got a lot of irons in the fire. We recently started homeschooling our kids again, and I've still been posting over on my original channel, Roots and Refuge, kind of sharing the farm stuff and all of that. I have a hard time when I fall off of like my normal posting schedule anywhere on YouTube, getting back into the groove, because it feels awkward to me. The coming back feels awkward, so this is that. I have a lot of ideas for videos. Like the other day I was making egg salad. I'm like, oh, this would be a good video. And then I'm like, I rolled over 100,000 subscribers and I haven't posted a video in a month, and I'm gonna come back with egg salad. Today, this is me just ripping the band-aid off, being like, put a video on YouTube so you can show them the dang ordinary egg salad. It was really good egg salad, actually. I'll show it to you later this week because I know I'm gonna be craving that again. But it is my favorite time of year, and I know, I actually say that about pretty much every time of year. We're coming into springtime on our southern homestead. So it's not actually springtime. I recognize it's very much still winter, and it's gonna be still winter for over another month. But this week I get to start seeds for my garden, and I have a couple of goats that are getting ready to kid, and last week we had 2 calves born on our farm, which is just super fun. The weather has been unusually warm. This is what we call fool's spring, and I don't know if I am categorized as a fool for falling for it, because I'm not doing anything dumb like planting things that a freeze will kill. I'm not believing that this is the end of winter. We will get cold again. We will have more very cold weather, but it has been beautiful this week. I do hope the cold weather will go ahead and come on back soon, because my trees are starting to bud, and that's not great, because when the freeze comes back, it'll knock them back pretty good. But we've been able to get a lot done out in the garden and preparing for actual spring, not full spring. And all of this, all of our preparation, all of the impending life on the farm, all of the warm weather, it makes me very excited about food. Now, where I live, we can pretty much grow food year round. Like, I'm still harvesting broccoli and carrots, rutabagas, kale, lettuces. I'm sowing more of that stuff right now out in my high tunnels. So I've got food coming in. Our chickens are really starting to lay again right now. With the new calves, we've got lots of milk coming in. But at this point, kind of getting into late February, is where a lot of my last year's stuff really starts running out. Like, these are store-bought onions. A lot of the canned stuff, a lot of the frozen stuff, we've kind of used up a lot of what we put up last year. We could, like, work harder and put up more stuff, obviously, but I'm really leaning more into growing food in a way that we can just eat it seasonally as it's coming in, because that's really my favorite thing to do. There are few joys in the world that, like, bless my little heart the way going out into my yard and harvesting dinner does. Right now is kind of the skinny season on the farm, but we're just on the brink of things really starting to produce again. With this little warm spell that we've been in the last week, all the dandelions have started to bloom. And that's kind of like the first sign in the spring that the food sources are, like, gonna begin to come back. Before too long, you know, the strawberries will start coming in and asparagus will come. And then really, as that's happening, even though it's still getting cold, like, all the winter garden really takes off. That was my oven. Y'all don't have to get up. Everybody always tells me they hear my stuff and they go check theirs. All right, I'm gonna get that pot heating up. So for making chili, this is another one of those things I don't really have a recipe for, and I'm usually making so much of it that I don't know exactly how to write down the ratios on a smaller scale for, like, a, you know, a normal size application. Chili is one of those things that, like, just so it's not difficult to double or triple what you're doing, and it freezes well. And so a lot of times what I do with chili is I purposefully make that 14-quart pot pretty full. Now, on a night like this, I'm gonna have several guests over, so we'll get through that. All my kids are here, plus we have a few different people that are coming over. There will probably be some left over. I won't need to freeze anything, though. My family will just eat it for lunch this week. But a lot of times what I do is get, like, individual little containers and just freeze, like, individual servings of chili, finding ways to make convenience foods like that. And sometimes when you cook 3 times a day, you just don't want to. So, like, there are days that happens. So I like to make my conveniences where I can, and a lot of times that means when I feel like cooking, just cooking extra. All right, first things first, over here I'm going to brown my meat. I like to make chili with some pork sausage. There's been some confusion about what I'm talking about when I talk about sausage, because apparently in some parts of the world, the only sausage you ever see are in casings, so they're like links. Pork sausage is ground pork or mince that has been seasoned, usually with things like different peppers, garlic, onion powder, things like that. This is ground beef. I use pork sausage in a good bit of my cooking because we raise hogs. We do process some of our own meat, but we also have a processor we really like, and we like the sausage blend they make. So this is just seasoned ground pork. It's got a little bit of spice to it, and I do have to keep this in mind when I am seasoning the food, like making this chili. I'm still going to put quite a bit of seasoning in this because I like chilies to be real flavorful. But, you know, a lot of times I'll, like, make like a bolognese sauce and I'll use pork sausage, or I'll make lasagna and I'll use pork sausage, and when I'm seasoning it, I'm having to be mindful that it's already seasoned some. That was about I don't know, 4 to 5 pounds of meat, And I'm just gonna brown this. I don't have to cook it fully, but I just wanna give it a little bit of a sear so it develops the flavors more and gives it a little texture. All right, I'm taking all the meat out. This is not fully cooked. It doesn't need to be, it's just browned. There's a little bit of fat left in this pan, like a few tablespoons. It's not a lot because that ground beef was pretty lean, so it's just what was in the pork. And I'm gonna leave that in here. In go the onions. As I am planning my garden this year, which is pretty much all I'm thinking about right now, given the time of year. As I said, I am planning a lot of fresh eating out of my garden. There are a few things though that really are not incredibly time consuming preservation things, and there are some things that like I absolutely must have. Like I'll still make pickles, I'll still make pickled peppers, I'll still put up some tomatoes. I'm gonna do some preservation. I'm just not growing a garden trying to do years worth of certain things. But I will 100% be just way more mindful in preserving more peppers. This last summer, I joked and said it was our most crushing summer, and it was. I mean, we decided to downsize a lot on our farm, but I did not buy nearly as many peppers as I would have liked. And at this point in February, I've pretty much gotten through most of what I put up. I still have a little bit that's freeze-dried. Today, I'm just using peppers I got from the store, and I'm essentially saving what I have preserved right now because it is freeze-dried and it is like very easy to use. I'm saving those things for, again, when I need some convenience. All right, so I'm chopping up a red bell pepper and 1 jalapeno pepper. I personally like spicier chili than this, but since I'm cooking it for kids and a few people that I know don't like spicy food, I'm going to go ahead and just do 1 of the jalapenos. I'm going to go ahead and take the seeds out just to try to hold back a little bit of the heat, and I'll probably hold back a little bit on the amount of cayenne I put in it. Okay, all this goes in with the onions. Now last, I want to chop up my garlic. Garlic can burn and turn bitter pretty quick, so I always saute any other aromatics for, you know, a good while till they're nice and soft before I put the garlic in, because I really only want to cook the garlic in the pan for a few minutes. So I'll put this in, and then I'm going to start putting my seasonings in because I don't want this garlic to have a chance to burn. I don't really have this recipe written down, as I said. If you want it, one day I will write it down for you. I'll probably have to do that one day when I'm just cooking like a smaller amount, when I can give you better ratios, but I will show you what I do and tell you what I'm putting in. But I'm going to measure with my heart today, as one does when they've cooked something so many times that they know what it's supposed to look like and smell like and what the texture is meant to be. All right, several cloves of garlic going in. A bit of my bell pepper fell behind my cutting board, so snack for me. So I would say this is one of the important things of making chili that I like to do. Once I have all of my aromatics, there is still a little bit of fat in this pan. Of course, it's soaked into these veggies. It looks like this. There you go, looks lovely. Now I put my seasoning in this pan dry because I want to give it a chance to toast all the seasonings. This is mild chili powder, almost a cup of that. I'm going to do a little bit of cornmeal, really finely ground, a few tablespoons. That adds texture as well as a little flavor. Add garlic powder for good measure. I know I just put half a head of garlic in there, but I eat garlic like vampires are a real threat. A little bit of cayenne pepper. As I said, I'm keeping this a little on the mild side. Paprika. Cumin. Cocoa powder. A few tablespoons. Now I'm going to stir this together, and it is going to get spicy in this house. Not as much as it does sometimes. As I said, sometimes I'm putting more spicy peppers in here. Just that mild chili powder and what spicy stuff is in here, it toasting kind of just gets it in the air. So you want to stay pretty close while this cooks, stirring it. It'll burn and you won't realize it's burning because, as I said, it's a dry pan with dry seasoning. It looks like this and it smells strong. I used to make this recipe with beer at this point. Then we went gluten-free and I never had gluten-free beer in the house. So I switched it out for coffee, just something else that's going to give some bold flavor. Now I want to deglaze my pan with about a cup and a half or so of coffee, essentially the equivalent to 1 bottle of beer. That's what I used to put in. Alright, I'm going to give it a little bit more since I'm making more of this. Now we have this really fragrant paste. Alright, see this? I should have gathered my ingredients before I started. Story of my life. I've got 3 cans of tomato sauce here. I need to go out and get a few more, but I'm going to go ahead and put these in, drop this heat down to low, and stir it into this paste, which is creating even more base for our chili. Sometimes I use diced tomatoes in here. Since I'm kind of trying to make this to go for like chili dogs, I'm using this canned sauce because it's just smoother than the stuff that I have canned. All the tomatoes I canned are pretty much diced, and that's fine, but for this to go on top of something, I just figured a smoother end product might be desirable. But yeah, I want to go ahead and get a few more cans of tomato sauce in here. Well, I only had 2 more cans in my pantry, so 2 more it is. And now back into this, I'm going to put the meat. And I've got 4 quarts of beans. 2 of these are pinto beans and 2 are red kidney beans. And then I'm going to do a few cups of broth, which I just pour a little bit into each one of these cans. Just to get everything else out of them. And this is going in that oven, which is essentially set on the equivalent of a high crock pot. And it's just going to cook for like the next 4 or 5 hours, real low and slow. And it'll be ready to eat by this evening. Oh, actually I forgot something. One more flavor bomb. Put a good glug of molasses in there. It's very slow. Molasses is, you know, known to be that. And now my lovely assistant will come in, put this very, very heavy pot in the oven. It is hot. You may want to grab the...
I wasn't going to touch it. I was just being like Vanna White here.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Look at the pot.
That is the thing about making this much food at once. I can lift that pot, but my back has been bothering me. And that weighs a lot. I mean, you got to think, I just put, what, at least put 8 pounds of beans in there. It's about 5 pounds of meat. The pot itself weighs several pounds. It's a heavy pot of food.
It's pretty heavy.
Well guys, thank you for hanging out with me today, and be on the lookout for more videos coming. Again, thank you so much for 100,000 subscribers. Every bit of sharing this journey with you is such a blessing to me, and I appreciate being on it. I bless you. Until next time.